you.
Sorry, Emma.
How dare you?
Here we go. Oh, Emma's drinking something. Are you drinking soup? No, that's a weird cup.
You don't
Live.
up?
It's so wide. I hate it. Live from 2022. How is it still 2022, Matt?
I don't know. I can't wait for 2021.
It's your non-seditionist dose of Biz Nuggets, joined as always by errant Emma Lurking and medescent Matt Muscardi. Anyone know what medescent means? This is a very strange word.
It's like,
ready for this?
It sounds like crumulent. Like
ready for this? It's not just damp or slightly wet. It's becoming damp or slightly wet.
Ooh.
So like getting rained on.
No, like my socks right now.
I'm a half twit. Officially, I took my IQ test yesterday, and they said I'm not a half wit, but I'm a half twit. So that's good news, right?
I can.
No, okay.
You don't need to talk about your IQ anymore. We
Crickets.
get it. Damien has a high IQ.
I said a half twit. Actually, I don't know my IQ. My mom won't tell me. Here we go.
His mommy wouldn't tell him.
Today in our non-leaking bag of nuggets called January 6th. Well, some moron put 10th. 2022. You can spell Insurrection Day without ESG, but you can't spell Adam Newman without Emma.
That is true, unfortunately.
That's true.
Not
right,
my
I don't know what we're
favorite
talking
fact,
about. Matt, why don't you just bail me out here?
It's National Insurrection Day!
Don't be so excited. What are you from Florida or something?
Hopefully everyone is wearing their Q Shaman outfits to celebrate. Emma, where's your Q Shaman outfit?
I have a smiley face. Does that work?
No, that's not doing it.
Now remind me again. What was that? It was like a Davy Boone. It was like a raccoon head with
it was a Daniel Boone hat with horns on it. It was in a American flag painted like Braveheart on his face.
Don't put the image in my head again.
No
Keep
shirt on.
Keep it rolling.
It would be easy today to talk about how corporations donate to jackasses who won't certify elections, or to talk about what companies said and did before or after.
That's what we are doing.
We're gonna. It would be easy for me to talk about that here, or I could just talk about Facebook and social media.
Okay, go
But
ahead.
obviously, I don't want to. Damien's going to do that. And you can't make me talk about it right now. So instead, what I have for you on Insurrection Day, so that we can all get on the same page about what actually happened, is a reminder and a prediction. I'm going to run this prediction tomorrow in our big 2022 prediction Ganza episode extravaganza tomorrow. What are we calling it tomorrow?
Prediction Ganza.
Predictgasm?
No, we're going to come up with something else.
Predictapalooza.
That's better.
I will tease the prediction here, but I'm going to start by giving you the reminder. Actually, I'm going to let the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat do the reminding for you. This is from a joint statement they released on January 6th, 2021. A joint statement from the Celtics and the Heat.
You don't get a lot of joint statements. I like
from basketball teams, no less. Quote, 2021 is a new year, but some things have not changed. We played tonight's game with a heavy heart after yesterday's decision in Kenosha, and knowing that protesters in our nation's capital are treated differently by political leaders depending on what side of certain issues they are on. What they are talking about is Black Lives Matter versus the insurrectionists. Black Lives Matter. We send out the National Guard. We throw smoke in their eyes, and we gas them out of places. We have curfews. Insurrectionists, we gently allow to walk through the Capitol building for several hours because they're mostly white. Here's your crib notes. The insurrection was about diversity. That's right. I'm saying that here.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because a study by the University of Chicago's Division of Social Sciences professor Robert Pape, or maybe Pappy.
Yeah.
He reviewed in April of last year 377 individuals who were arrested in storming the Capitol. Your chances of being an insurrectionist were statistically linked with, number one, living in counties where the percentage of white people declined versus people of color. Okay. Number two, living in counties where surveys found more people believe that blacks and Hispanics are overtaking whites.
That's a belief?
That's what they checked the box. They said, yes, we think
That's a box to check.
That's a
I
box
don't
they
want to check
checked on.
that.
It was a survey.
I don't like
It
that
was a survey.
box. Okay.
Number 3, living in counties where surveys found there was a fear of blacks and Hispanics, that they had more rights than white people.
That's an actual fear. Okay.
That is a real fear. And number 4, living in counties that were battlegrounds, not where it was homogenous.
Yeah. Yes.
These are not conservative, deep Trump places or like super liberal. These were purple counties.
Ooh, purple.
Where
yeah.
it was divided between conservatives and liberals. Here's why this is a business story to me and a business parable and a prediction for 22. What if counties are boardrooms? Don't believe me?
No.
Don't believe me? I'm sure you don't.
No.
PwC conducted its annual survey of board of directors released in October of last year. The directors they surveyed were U.S. based, 71% male, 50% of them aged between 61 and 70. They were almost the exact demographic of the insurrectionists.
Yes.
That's not a joke. The majority of the insurrectionists were older than you'd expect. They were older than 55 years old.
Okay.
And they were almost entirely male and largely white. Board members are about the same exact thing. Here's what board members had to say to PwC. 1 in 4 think race is now the most important attribute of director searches, but 58% think that board diversity is driven by political correctness.
Okay.
45% of board members surveyed think diversity is impeded by lack of qualified candidates. Basically, they have to let in stupid people of color, is what they're saying. And 35% of men who are board members who responded think diversity results in unneeded candidates, and those candidates are unqualified.
Great.
This is your battleground, people.
Yeah.
This is my prediction. I'll end it here before I hand it to Damien to talk about the actual insurrection.
No.
January 6th boardroom insurrections will be a topic of 2022. The boardroom rejects diversity, and there's insurrections in the boardroom. There you go. There you have it.
Whoa.
All right, let's stay in the boardroom. Let's stay with this nerdy, wonky.
All right, let's nerd out some more.
Yeah. All right, let's be a very nerdy show, and then Emma will pull us out of it. All right, here's the headline. Microsoft, Amex, Airbnb, and 4 other major companies have pledged not to donate to Republican election objectors in 2022. First of all, how would you like to be the 4 other... What's up with those 4 other companies that you're not even good enough? And let me tell you the 4 others. Dow. I always thought Dow was an important company.
Big.
Right? Dow, BASF, Eversource Energy, and Lyft. Ooh, so Lyft. You're in one of the others. Suck. I bet if it was Uber. But that's not the point of the story. The point here is that Popular Information contacted 183 companies asking if they would withhold donations to the 147 GOP lawmakers who voted against certifying Joe Biden's election win, a group that has been referred to as the Sedition Caucus. Okay, so according to this journalism, only 7 companies said that they would make no donations. No donations pledge. Only 7. There's a lot of great reporting in this. I'm happy to plug Popular Information. That they cover a lot of ground here. They have corporations that pledge to suspend donations, but directly donated to them. They had corporations that pledged to suspend them, but then they kind of violated the spirit. They have all kinds of great stuff. There's a lot of great reporting here. Hats off again, but I'm going to leave my hat on because it's hats off. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. All right. So I want to focus on these 7 random companies that have made the pledge not to donate to Republican election objectors in 2022. Maybe next week I'll look at some of these other countries that are these other companies that are liars. But let's focus on the 7 good companies. And I hate to tell you, Emma, but once again, Microsoft on this list. Microsoft always does the things that you believe in, and yet you still can't support them, which means that you're the problem, Emma.
Yeah.
You officially are the problem.
Apple products.
They're always in the right with everything we cover.
Are they?
I don't know.
You and your Taco Bell
Pretty
eating
much.
Apple products.
I mean, I'm not saying that any one of these companies is as beautiful as your ridiculously weird mug, But what I'm trying to tell you is that they're more
Parsons.
often on the right side of things. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay.
We'll
So
So
the companies.
waiting for your explanation.
So let's go over these companies, and I put my data up here so that you two chuckleheads can look at it and join the conversation. So first,
I refused.
who are these companies?
Microsoft.
One of them is from Germany. BASF. What's up with that? Right?
Already. Weird.
I'm confused. But I will say, maybe to Matt's point, they're all from blue states, or they're headquartered in blue states. So does that mean something, Matt? New York, Massachusetts, Washington, California, Michigan. Does that line up with your...
We did a study about the politics of the state, like
Right.
conservative versus liberal, and the headquarters, and compared it to the board members, and said, is there going to be social pressure to be more liberal or more conservative based on where you were? So this is something that we've talked about here on Business Pants, Free Float Media, the only place you can get this stuff. That doesn't exist anywhere else.
And to your point, I think only one of them is headquartered in in a battleground, a purple state. I think one of them, Dow, is in Michigan, I believe. Other than that, there's nothing to learn here. A couple of the companies are controlled. Two of them have dual class shares. I don't know. There's nothing really going on here. So let's go to the next category. So that, in other words, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows, right? Number two. Who exactly is running these companies? What can we learn here? To your point, Matt, the average CEO age here is 53. There are not a lot of long tenured directors. So maybe, does this skew younger? Are these not insurrectionist type people? Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't fit the profile. Younger and more diverse, maybe? Are they more diverse?
Okay, so here's the main takeaway here, and I will say this: that everything else is kind of a wash. The average women on boards here is about 32%. They all do pretty well here. They're not old white male and stale. They're not entrenched boards. Blah 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 blah. The one thing that sticks out here is that the leadership here is overwhelmingly men.
Yay!
Out of the 28 top leadership positions, that's including CEO, chair, CFO, lead director, only one out of those 28 positions is held by a woman, and that's at Microsoft. That kind of surprised me. I think I would have anecdotally guessed the other way, that there would have been some women involved here, so I'm kind of let down by this.
We're talking about effectively a tech company and Lyft and Airbnb. We're talking about an old school.
They don't do women, right?
They don't do women very
well.
Germany
doesn't do women.
Germany, there are no women in
Airbnb doesn't
Germany.
do women very well on the safety front.
Yeah.
However, I did learn recently that women make significantly more than men on Airbnb, the hosts. I also learned that they are rated much higher than most male.
That's probably
Airbnb.
because they clean up after themselves, right?
That makes sense.
Men are disgusting.
I can buy that. Microsoft, though, is the one that's like a mature but liberally, like Eversource Energy. The energy companies don't really do this. American Express is the other one that I would have expected to see more women. But the other ones, I'm not that surprised.
All right, so that's who's running these companies. Again, there's not really anything to learn here other than that it's a lot of dudes. So how are these companies rated? I know a lot of people love these discussions. I know people at Bloomberg, they love this.
I'm so excited.
They're deep into ratings these days. But here's what I can tell you. Nothing. I don't know. I mean,
again,
the ratings go from AAA at Microsoft to, what's the lowest, Matt? A B or a double B? What is this nonsense?
Triple C is the lowest.
But what's the lowest on this list? A B or what's lower?
MSCI. You're talking about MSCI ESG ratings.
Yeah. And what is the lowest? I worked there, and I don't remember. Is a B lower than a double B?
A B is lower than a double B's, and it's one notch above the worst.
All right, so the range here goes from AAA Microsoft to B at Airbnb. Really, it's like almost every rating here is represented. So this tells me nothing. The only thing that tells me something here a little bit is that they all have very high board scores. So according to MSCI, the people who are running these companies maybe are the way they run themselves is better. I don't know. Again, I'm not getting anything here. I'm getting nothing.
I'm just going to say yes.
All right. Let's move on. for the only maybe meaningful takeaway I found here, and maybe this might interest.
This is like
you
7
guys.
minutes of meaninglessness.
This might interest you. No, I'm doing the heavy lifting,
I'm
lifting
interested,
ESG
Damien.
research work. Thank you. Here we go. Here's what I did learn, Matt.
Nothing.
6 out of 7 of these companies seem to have a shareholder base that gives a shit. Okay?
Okay.
So either they had voted a large number of votes against say on pay, a large number of votes against directors, or a large amount of votes against or for a shareholder proposal, meaning that those are usually proposals against the company. In fact, those have been going up. So in the last 5 years, as an average, the shareholders were 32% for these shareholder proposals, and just last year it was up to 43%. So my point being overall is that they represent companies with agitated people, agitated shareholders. So maybe this is a meaningful correlation that if you stop shutting up all the time and start doing a thing, voting your conscience, whatever, maybe it will leak into the conscience of your company's leadership, and they might do something good. Is that a good takeaway, Matt? Come on, is that something real? He's asleep.
No.
He's asleep.
I don't know. Is that a takeaway at all?
Come on, it is a takeaway. Not a lot of companies have these kind of negative votes.
Well, I would say this.
Yeah.
Give
me something.
If it's true that these investors are more engaged with these companies, then it might be a reason why you wouldn't the brand risk of donating to insurrectionists or the sedition caucus would be too high, because your investors will act quickly to change that, right? Like you're going to face a vote.
But beyond that, because I don't know what you just said, maybe they care because you care, right? I mean,
that part I don't believe.
It's possible.
No.
Emma, come on.
Is
it possible?
I think it is possible.
Thank you.
But I'm skeptical.
Matt's in disbelief. Okay,
No.
but hey, that's all I got. That's it. That's my ESG takeaway. Come on. It's good stuff. Come on, that last one is gold.
I agree. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
I was compelled. It's whatever.
Matt, you take all this
fell
data
asleep.
and come up with a story out of this. Come on, you do it. Try it.
That's why he chose not
yes.
to.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge denied. Yeah, okay. All right, go ahead, Emma.
All right. And finally, something a little different from me than what the other two talked about. Everyone grows up dreaming of being indoctrinated by a cult, but living accommodations are usually so subpar. Instead of your typical ranch with mandatory orgies or creepy towns in South America, what if you can have your cult experience in the comfort of a luxury high-rise in Miami? WeWork founder Adam Newman has indirectly purchased over 4,000 apartments worth upwards of $1 billion in cities like Nashville, Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, and Miami. And per usual, with the Charles Manson of co-working, the grand plan for this real estate venture is very, very murky. The only public statement that has been made about the purchases was made by DJ Mouch, a man that allegedly works for the Newman family office, whatever the fuck that means, but for whom I could not find a digital footprint of literally any kind.
Is that a real
Nothing
person?
about this man.
Yeah, he was.
Is it a DJ, or is DJ their that name initials?
That is not his SoundCloud rapper name, unfortunately. I think his name is DJ. I think DJ
Isn't that
is his
MCA
first
from the Beastie Boys?
It's really confusing. I'm very excited and disappointed.
Okay.
Despite the confusing nature of his name, this is what he said. Since the spring of 2020, we have been excited about multifamily apartment living in vibrant cities where a new generation of young people increasingly are choosing to live. He might as well have said, Supreme Landlord Newman is going to lure you to his properties with fruit and robo-butlers that wipe your ass. But all of a sudden, you'll find yourself standing in your 2-bed, 1.5 bath with a glass of Kool-Aid in your hand, wondering how you got there. So, in case you're looking in the Nashville, Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta area for an apartment, maybe stay away from these ones. It's just a suggestion.
Emma, you're obsessed with Adam Newman, aren't you?
A little bit.
You're drawn to his cult-like abilities.
Yeah, I want to be his second in command.
I'm hoping there's a strong overlap between where he buys rental properties and where insurrectionists come from. That's really the deep hope.
2 out of these, well, Atlanta, Georgia, that's a purple state. 2 of these places are in Florida, and Nashville. I don't care about Nashville.
Oh,
It's true. No one does.
Okay.
That's our insurrection / Adam Newman special of the day. We are Free Float Media.
Big nerdy episode for you. I know you asked for it.
Tomorrow we have the real goods for you. We have our 2022 prediction palooza, in which we are going to predict everything important that's going to happen in 2022.
Everything.
No, seriously, everything that you need to know about 2022, we are going to talk about on the show tomorrow. So join us tomorrow for that. Otherwise, enjoy Insurrection Day. Wear your loudest Q Shaman outfit out and about, and we'll see you tomorrow.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.